One tension, one issue that I thought Terry really framed excellently was the relationship between a gradual and sudden approach to awakening. And this is a theme that we'll be going into in more detail. And all of the evolved contemplative Buddhist traditions understand this tension and deal with this paradox in really skillful ways. The basic idea is that enlightenment experience, awakening, a sudden glimpse, or as Ken would say, a peak, as in P-E-E-K, peak experience, a glimpse is easy. Stabilizing that glimpse, deepening that glimpse, learning to live from that glimpse, that's a whole other matter. The way Trungpa Rinpoche put it was, we must combine the two paths. We must bring them together. If you just proceed along the gradual path, you're like a worm trying to eat its way through a tree. It's going to take a very long time. You're not actually going to see much brilliance or luminosity in your practice. If you just exist on the fumes of the Absolute, if you just, in a sense, attempt to transcend the subtle and gross realms and exist in some kind of etheric, absolute space, life becomes very challenging, very difficult. What we seek is an integration of the two approaches. So I'd like to return to really the essence of the meditation practice that characterizes the gradual path in Buddha Dharma, which is to really return to the Buddha's first meditation instruction, which has to do with the cultivation of bare attention, what Ken talks about as witnessing, the capacity to witness. The Buddha initially gave instruction in regards what he referred to as the four foundations of mindfulness, the four foundations of bare attention. These four foundations are the body, sensations and feelings, thoughts and emotions, and phenomena, or the larger space of awareness within which all of this occurs. And the key point initially, and this in particular came through Trungpa Rinpoche's transmission to us in the West, the key point is that we work with mindfulness to actually befriend what's there. We work with the practice of mindfulness to make an unconditional friendship to ourselves. This is a quality of friendship that for most of us is quite radical. There's no judgment in true bare attention. There's no for or against. There's simply the capacity to look directly, look nakedly at exactly what is there, to see precisely what is there, and not make any effort to change, manipulate, or contort what you see. In essence, it's said that the path of Buddha Dharma is nothing other than allowing this seed potential of our mind to continue to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow until it becomes, in a sense, transparent to itself. Our job as practitioners, just as our job would be if we were a gardener, is not actually to force the growth. As you know, when you plant something, you can't actually force it to grow. What you can do is continuously create the causes and conditions whereby its natural potential will begin to unfold. Similarly, as Buddhist practitioners, our job is to continuously create the causes and conditions, the right circumstances, with our body, speech, and mind, so that this natural capacity, which tends to go rather dormant, as the speed of our identity project, as the speed of our self-in project, pushes itself into the foreground of our experience. This very gentle, very subtle, very delicate quality of knowing becomes totally obscured. Can't contact it. So our first step, really, in creating the mandala is to go right to the root or the foundation of the whole situation, which is how you're relating to your own mind, specifically the relationship between the contents of your mind, the so-called objects, and the perceiver. What is the relationship? Are you grasping on to the contents, the appearances, the objects of your mind, and turning that appearance into the basis of a self-identity? Or are you able to be freely with that arising of mind? It's very simple, but it's the very point where we're all glued to samsara, to use traditional language. It's the very moment that repeats itself over and over again that keeps us stuck, glued, cemented to this gross realm, as Terry was talking about, this egoic experience of being a human being inside of a body, looking at a world out there. That process of duality starts in this very subtle mind moment. It's occurring moment after moment. It's occurring right now. You're either contracting against what's actually happening in this mind moment, or you're opening up into it. You're letting it be free, or you're freezing it in some way. Internally, you're either holding on or contracting around some storyline or other. Or externally, you're latching on to one set of sense perceptions or another. Our job initially is to just simply see what's going on, to pay attention to what's going on, and to not judge it, but to make friends with it, to actually see it nakedly.